So Brenda, why don't you tell me a little bit about what's going on in your life? What has brought you here?
Well, kind of dealing with the whole empty nest thing because my kids are gone and not really sure what that means for me. I've only known being a mom, and that was a miracle that I was able to experience for a short time. And so now that it's a different phase of motherhood, I don't really know what that means for me. I don't know how to let go of that.
So what I hear you saying is that you're kind of confused, and you're in an area, in a stage in your life where you've never been, and you don't know how to address the emotions that you're having.
Yeah, I don't really even know how to get in touch with those emotions because I don't understand them. I don't know what they mean or how to sort them out, you know, because obviously I'm still my kid's mother, but it's a different role. You know, they don't need me like they used to.
So you're frustrated because you really can't figure out the emotions, but I also hear that there's sort of a grieving here because you're now detached from your children and the role you used to have, and that hurts.
It does, because I always wanted to have a big family, and I came from a big family, and so you know, it's just, it makes me think about how I wasn't able to have that big family, and the fact that I had the 2 children I had, I wish that time would have, you know, stretched out longer. And, you know, I understand and want my kids to prosper and do well. I want them to move forward and have a full life, and that's our job as parents, is to raise them to be independent people. But that doesn't make it less painful that they're not with me anymore. And the fact that I wasn't supposed to have kids, and the fact that I got to have them for a time, you know, it's a loss that they're not here, but they're here. So it's like, I feel bad because I feel sad that they're not here, even though I know they're supposed to be. It's conflicting emotions. That's what it is. And so it does get confusing because I'm happy for them, but I'm sad for me.
So you're confused, and there seems to be a polarity of emotions fighting against each other, such as that one side longed to have more children.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wanted to have, you know, it's funny because we make these plans that we want in our life, you know, when we start off as a young couple, and what we dream for, you know, those dreams are birthed, and then the reality sets in that that's not going to happen, and you try to focus on what does happen, which was that I was given the gift of a daughter and a son. You know, it wasn't the big family I wanted, but I know my husband and I cherish our children very much. And it's just, our whole life was our kids, and so now that they're not here, you know, I don't know how to change and switch to make it something different. And, you know, I feel like I kind of missed out on, I guess the dream of having that big family. And I feel like it was cut off too soon. And I know part of that's probably getting older and, realizing that life is very fast. It goes fast. And there's no way to stop that.
So, those dreams of having a big family were shattered, and now, even to bring more sorrow, your kids are gone.
Yeah, and it's not like they're just not living in our house with us. They don't live near me.
And that's even worse.
Yeah, it's hard because I see families that have their grandkids nearby and they have weekly dinners and just holidays together. And this Thanksgiving was our first holiday without our kids, and it was very painful. But, I try to focus on the fact that they're safe and they're good and they're healthy and they're pursuing their dreams. That really does make me happy. It does. It gives me a peace. And so I try to focus on the peace of that. And it helps. But sometimes, in the quiet times, those thoughts come back, and it's not easy to process the feelings because I don't really know what to do with them. So, I know I need to let myself feel sad, but nobody likes to sit in that very long. You don't like to focus on the bad. I don't want that to be the main focus of my life. I don't want to live in the past. I don't want the past to control me. I want to focus on the future, but it's hard sometimes because I don't know what the future holds.
So when you're alone in your thoughts, those feelings and those emotions, they surface.
Yeah, they do.
Well, why don't we address those emotions and feelings and work through those? Because I'm hearing that, when you think about the kids, you're happy because you know that they're safe and you've done what you've needed to do as a parent. You gave them wings to fly, but the empty nest is something that sort of, the word haunts you.
I honestly think it takes me back to before I had my kids, when I had a scare that I wasn't going to be able to have kids at all. And I remember thinking about how could I not ever have kids, because I always wanted a big family of my own. And when I wasn't supposed to have kids, that was a very scary thought and a feeling that there was a hopelessness that I felt, that how could this be, and there was a fear.
Emptiness, just...
Yeah. And then I had my kids, and I for the time that I had them, I was grateful because I knew they were gifts. They were miracles. And I just didn't know it would come back to me so soon that they would be gone. It is a morning, it feels like someone, I feel bad because I feel bad. Because it's not like my kids are dead. And I know there are people that have had to suffer that pain, and I'm very blessed that my kids are still alive and healthy, and I'm thankful, and I pray protection over them. But learning how to cut that and face the fact that it's come full circle. It's come full circle because they're not here, and they have been the hugest part of my life. And I just don't know how to process that, I guess.
Well, Brenda, we're coming to a close now, and I want you to do some homework this week. Allow yourself a little bit of time to sit down and begin to experience these feelings and write them down. The feelings of what you said, the hopelessness that came back, the same feelings when you were thinking that you were unfertile. And next week, I'd like to talk about those feelings with you and work through those feelings. Your dream of having a big family, and then you mentioned that you kind of feel, correct me if I'm wrong, bad that you feel bad, you said, and that's something that we might want to address, because why do you feel bad? And so we'll discuss this next week, and today we discussed that you were kind of confused with emotions that were coming up when we talked about your children leaving, and also in connection with when you thought that you were infertile, and so we'll pick that up next week, okay?